One of the huge benefits of knowing how to apply graphics, wrap objects, is the ability to take something that's common, in this case a white refrigerator, standard refrigerator, and apply a kind of high-end film, in this case brushed metallic, to make it look expensive. And you can easily do that in a quick amount of time, and here's how. These are the tools that you use. Again, you got heavy-duty paper towels, some double-sided tape, scraper, magnets, measuring tape, squeegee, knife, safety box, tool set for removing hardware, some pens, masking tape if you need it, and first off is you got some adhesive remover. And this is just a simple store-bought adhesive remover. You can apply it, and what you have to do is let it sit and soften the adhesive right there at the top. And while that softens, take your scraper and slowly pry off any emblems. In this case, this one was held on with double-sided tape, which means you have to go back and remove that as well. And once it's softened, look, it should scrape off nice and easy. So just use the sharp edge there. And again, some of that will fall on the table, so make sure you clean that up so that doesn't jump back under the film while you're applying. Always remove any kind of plastic or clips that are on. Those remove quite easily. And for the door, you always remove the doors, just makes it easier to apply. So usually that's held on with 3 bolts that are at the top, and there's a peg at the bottom. So just pull it off the peg there, and nice and easy. You want to clean it, and obviously clean the refrigerator with something that doesn't leave a residue. You want to maybe generally get the dirt off, but sometimes refrigerators have a lot of grease on them, so you want to maybe use a degreaser, in some cases like isopropyl alcohol, to wipe it down to get that grease off. And always we want to clean all sides, and again, wrapping everything that's white, so you're wrapping the front and the back. And what's really important is the edges. Make sure the edges are super clean, so put that squeegee in a paper towel, and make sure you dig it in there to make those edges super clean. Otherwise, if those are dirty, the material will peel on the edges. You want to make sure those are super clean. And then you want to do some basic measurements. Obviously, you try to make it as seamless as possible. So you're going to go from the sides over the top back to the side. And again, you obviously just have to measure one side because you just double it. So in this case, you take your measurements, roll out your material. In this case, you don't have a cutting table. Let's say you're on location. Just clear off a table, make some space, pull the material flat, and again, watch out for brushed metallic film. It can scratch, so try not to pull it too quickly. Make your measurements, and again, using a water-soluble pen there to kind of tack it in place, and just use what's called a snitty so you don't have to cut directly on the table. Roll the material up so it's nice and clean. You don't want to get dirt on there. And for the section there, this is for the front door. You want to measure that as well with the material as the material is unrolled. Roll the material back up if you have any extra. And now you just want to flip it over the top just to make sure you reach top to bottom. You should always have extra material top to bottom and towards the front and back. Place your magnets there, and it's always better to start at the top and work one half and then the other half. So roll the material, flip it over, remove the backing paper, cut it off with a snitty, flip the material over, and what you want to do is from there, you can squeegee. Again, obviously refrigerators are nice and flat, so once you squeegee the top, the only tricky part is to make sure you just get around the corner nice and tight. So sometimes the finger is a really good way to kind of get the material around the corner, and then you want to just create glass and then continue on. And with the backing paper off, the material just needs a little more glass right there, so you pull right and left so it evens out. Squeegee in the middle and just break it up into 2 sections, nice and easy. So again, this is very straightforward squeegeeing, not difficult at all. Pull the backing paper, fill it up, create glass, make sure it's nice and smooth at the top. And again, the film that you can use in this case, you can use calendar film, you can use cast film, you can use film with air egress, not air egress, very straightforward stuff. So you don't have to use super high performance film if you don't want to. In this case, this is cast film, this brushed metallic with air egress, so it's fairly straightforward and easy to put on. No need to kind of really keep it away. But again, don't worry, you can use calendar film for sure. The biggest thing that you want to make right is the corners. So in this case, there's natural breaks in the refrigerator right there, between the corners right there. So you want to split it in top and bottom. You make a cut away, which is a relief cut, so this section can relax in. Again, this has a nice groove at the front, so you make sure you use your squeegee to tuck it in, nice and clean. Always tuck those areas, don't bridge and force in. So you tuck it in nice and clean. Before you cut this out, always click your blade so it's extra sharp. And again, the first one didn't come off clean, so always make sure it's super sharp. And now you're cutting right on the groove there. The tip of the knife should just stay right in there and never jump out if you get it set up properly. Pull the material away, nice and clean. Before finishing the side that was previously being worked on, you want to release the other corner. Again, make a very precise relief cut right there. You want to make it away from the area that you're folding on, and then you want to work the material away. What's critical though is making sure the material doesn't kind of buckle on the upper corner. So notice how I'm going to pull away from the section I'm working on, down and away, and then I squeegee. But before I get to the other corner, I pick it up, and again, it's kind of popping up on the corner there just naturally, right there. So what I want to do is, if I pull it straight, it'll buckle, and then when I finish the other side, it's going to have a wrinkle. So again, I pull firmly away with my free hand on the left there, and it forms nice and flat on that corner. Very critical to pull away from there, and then I squeegee it down tight, tuck it into that section there, nice and clean, no tension. And now that I run my squeegee there so I clearly see the edge on all sides. And then I come back, tip my knife just stays in that groove. Again, you should never be cutting directly on the refrigerator. It always has natural lines just to hold your knife. So if you let the knife stay in those grooves, you have nice, perfect cuts. Remove that film there, and then you finish off the other side. Same thing. And on this side, so it doesn't buckle at the top, you pull away from that corner as well, and then you have a flat corner. Click your blade again if you feel like it's not quite sharp. Cut it in the groove, and again, cut it away flat at the bottom. No need to wrap under the refrigerator. That's definitely more than you need to, because it's so close to the floor that no one is going to see that. And then you do the exact same setup on the back, because it's exactly the same. So again, focus on the corners first, make your relief cuts, pull away from the corner as you fold it over so it doesn't buckle. Nice and easy. Again, take advantage of that natural break in the refrigerator. And here you see the finished result. Again, it's been all tucked in. No need to break out a heat gun at all at this point. Now, for the door, there's rubber molding at the back in some cases. Make sure you pull that away and then come back with your heat gun to make sure it's nice and dry in those areas. A lot of moisture sometimes on the inside of the refrigerator. Set up your hinge. Make sure you have enough material left and right, top to bottom. Pull with glass, take your squeegee, and then notice I'm using a soft squeegee here as opposed to the hard squeegee, because the soft squeegee just has, soft corners, which help keep the squeegee from scratching it during the install. So again, always set up your permanent hinge and then squeegee out from there. On the corners here, again, make relief cuts away from the corner you're working on so the material can easily relax around the corner. No need to break out the heat gun there when you can just make a relief cut, pull away right into the corner there on either side, and then again here, pull away to the left so it can wrap around that top section there without wrinkles. Nice and smooth, and now that flat area is nice and easy. You repeat the exact same process on the other side. Again, try not to cut too much out, just in case you have to pick it back up, but in most cases, just pull the backing paper halfway, flip both over at the same time, create glass with the free hand, and then squeegee, 45 degrees. Very straightforward. Again, click the blade when everything's on, you tuck and cut the top. So again, the tip of your blade is just right in that groove. Nice and clean, very straightforward. And then always go back in, seal the deal when you're done. Now, for the top section, on that inside section where the rubber molding came out before, you want to flip it around to make it easier. Put some paper towels down so that the brush metallic doesn't scratch on the table. Feed it into the groove where it's empty. Click your blade so it's nice and sharp, and then again, this blade is held by the groove on the door, and then you go back and make sure you squeegee it down nice and tight, and then always heat it down so the edge is sealed, and then reinstall the plastic molding right there and make sure it's nice and tight. But you can see how it tucks under slightly, so it's a good finish. And then for the main body of the refrigerator, always go over all the edges very thoroughly with the heat gun to make sure they're sealed nice and tight, and again, even go over the main surface area to check for bubbles. Take the door, put it back on that bottom peg, make sure the bolts are nice and snug on the top, and then always open the door just to double check that it's in the right groove. And then for that emblem that was removed at the beginning, you can take this special double-sided tape that I like a lot, press in place, stick this on there, nice and thin, and it's very aggressive. Pull it off, and you got the shape there. Bam, super easy. Put it in place, touch it down, nice and easy. Super cool stuff. And what you want to do when you're done is always wipe it down to get off any handprints, so it looks super, super clean, brand new. And here's the end result. So it went from a common refrigerator in a short amount of time with a minimal amount of material, and now you got something that looks expensive. Thanks for watching. I'm Justin Pate.